was a big problem. And so we've all been working with CO Karnataka, and I want to thank a lot of the volunteers who have been working tirelessly to get all of us on the rolls. So this is basically our fundamental right, our constitutional right, that of electing our representatives. And so it's not right that, and I know a lot of us have been seeing in the press lately, this morning Rahul Dravid, who forgot to apply again. And so he, even though he is the, the champion for election commission, he himself can't vote. And so quite a few celebrities have got deleted. So I think deletion has become a big problem now. I want to start out just with a small quotation which was being circulated yesterday in Prestige Shantiniketan, which says, "We do not have government by the majority, we have a government by the majority who participate." So on that note, I'm happy to see some people at least are interested in evaluating the candidates, because people sometimes are voting for somebody who's not even on that EVM. So we have to stop that. And we have to start voting for the people who are actually standing for the election. So I just want to give a quick summary. Meera is going to be presenting the details from the affidavits of the candidates, and that will be before they arrive. And after that, they'll be arriving at 10 o'clock. We'll be introducing the candidates to you. They'll be speaking a little bit about themselves, and Ravi Chandar, as you know, known person, will be going over the questions that have come in advance. We've got over 150 questions, so he's summarizing them and he'll be going through them in advance. A quick reminder, kindly put all your cell phones on silent and please maintain decorum. This meeting has been authorized by the electoral returning officer, and we have to stick to the format, and let's keep our conversations civilized. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to Meera to give us a little information about all the candidates.
Thank you, Anjali. Today we have 3 candidates who will be here today. The incumbent MP, Mr. P.C. Mohan, Mr. Rizwan Arshad, who's also the MLC in Bangalore, and we have Mr. Prakash Raj, who's already here. Before we start, a very quick outline of what really an MP's role is, because a lot of us by default tend to kind of associate every elected rep with our daily problems, civic issues, the bad roads and the lack of water and so on. But it's important to understand what really their role is and what their, what they can do and cannot do. So the common assumption is that, if they fail to, if the ward corporator or your MLA fails to deliver, then the MP can solve the problem. But it's not a hierarchical, structure like that. So we have, a 3-tier structure. So you have the parliament, and you have the state level, the MLAs in the assemblies, and then you have the BBMP corporators. So the job of the MP is really what is at the national level, right? The job, and you have these 3 lists that the center is responsible for, the state, as well as there are some concurrent, functions that multiple tiers are responsible for. There is also the 74th Amendment, which allows, there are 17 functions like your garbage and water and street lights and so on, which are at the very local level. So we need to understand this before we ask the question. So just keep this in mind, during Q&A. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we'll come back to that, sir. Let me just... No, I'm just saying keep this in mind. So we'll come to that. So the main thing is that given that we have a representative form of government, the job of an MP is to represent our interest in Parliament, right? And Bangalore Central has about 22 lakh voters. That's a huge number to ensure that they represent the voice and this diverse voice of this community in Parliament. And their main work is related to policy and lawmaking, and they choose the Prime Minister. So these are the key aspects to consider. And the way you kind of get a sense of their work is to look at the debates that they participate in parliament, the kind of questions that they're asking there, the bills that they introduce and pass, and their attendance and so on. So all this information is there in multiple sites like the parliamentary research site PRS. So there are various resources that you can go on to check what your MP has done in the last 5 years. The other key point to remember is an MP can also is expected to act as a bridge between the citizens as well as the local and the state and the center, and work with the multiple MLAs in the across parties. So today, just a brief summary of the three candidates based on the affidavits filed with the Election Commission. First, like I said, we have Mr. P.C. Mohan, who's an incumbent. He's 55 years old, 12th pass businessman profession, and he has declared assets worth 65 crores and liabilities of 31 crores. He's from the Bharatiya Janata Party. Then number two, we have Mr. Rizwan Arshad, who's 39 years old, BCom, and his assets are about 15 crores, and he's from the Indian National Congress. And we have Mr. Prakash Raj, 53 years old, who's done his BCom, discontinued. He's an activist, actor, director, producer, and social worker. He's declared assets worth 31 crores and liabilities of 3.8 crores. In terms of criminal cases, Mr. Mohan and Mr. Arshad haven't declared any cases. For Mr. Prakash Raj, there is a charge sheet filed under section 143, 147, etc., which is primarily punishment for unlawful assembly and unlicensed use of loudspeaker and so on. And in addition to this, we have a large number of other candidates from different parties as well as a lot of independents. We will be going over this in detail after the discussion is done. Over to you, Anjali. Okay, let me just quickly summarize the last 5 years of our incumbent MP, Mr. P.C. Mohan. He has been a member of multiple committees in Parliament, the Standing Committee on Urban Development, the Committee on MP Lads, Consultative Committee of the Ministry of Tourism and Culture, and so on. In terms of attendance, he has 83% compared to a national average of 80%. He has participated in 21 debates, whereas the average is 67% across the country, and the Karnataka average is 48%. He has asked around 315 questions, which is much higher than the national average of 293. And he has not introduced any private members bill. So this is a summary based on the Parliament site. You can find all this information. The questions he has asked cover a wide range of topics, including the suburban rail project, the metro rail facility, diseases caused by air pollution and the center's action, measures to promote electric vehicles, and so on. As well as the quadrupling of Cantonment Whitefield railway line and the central funds for that, and the development and expansion of the airport, Kempegowda Airport. So these were the topics that have been covered in his questions. And as you all know, every MP gets 5 crores a year to spend on the different development works in the constituency. So out of the 25 crores over 5 years, Mr. Mohan has spent 23.9 crores for 144 projects related to water, toilets, education, Anganwadi, hospitals, parks, playgrounds, railways, security, etc., etc. So if you look at the full list of MP-led projects in these 144, you will find things like, setting up community halls, setting up, RO stations, filtered water stations. He has also put in a large sum of money into the construction of the ITPL halt station and the overbridge between K.R.Puram and Whitefield railway stations. So this, in summary, is Mr. P.C. Mohan's last 5 years.
Messaged me that they are about 5 minutes away. But thank you, Meera, for giving all that great information about the candidates. And one of the things we have to be really careful of when we are, trying to decide on who to vote for, there is a lot of fake news running around, as you know, a lot of forwards, and especially we need to be very careful of, these one-liners, these very smart one-liners. This is not the way we should be electing representatives who are serious people who have to run the country, who have to run the state, who have to run our ward. We should really take a deep look, not only at who we are electing, but also who we have elected. In the last forum, we had given a citizen manifesto to the MLA, and we are going to be tracking what is happening with the points that we have given in the manifesto. So it's important not only to go at the promises, and I see a lot of glossy brochures circulating. We shouldn't get taken in by those things. Okay. I can hear. Okay. So, with that, I want to warmly welcome everybody. I think the candidates are here too. I want to especially thank Mr. Ravi Chandar. Please come here. We keep inviting him multiple times to these events. But Ravi, as you know, Mahadevpura is full of very active citizens, so we need a little reining in. If we start asking the questions and moderating, we may not be the right people. So this time, as you know, there's over 30 people on our EVM. And unfortunately, we regret we cannot have time to interact with all. And we are going to be talking about 4 candidates only out of the 30 plus. I know you're wondering who's this 4th candidate because there's only 3 chairs. The 4th candidate is NOTA. Do we know everybody knows what NOTA stands for? None of the above. So that means I don't like anybody who's standing for this election, and I'm sending a message. Why is it important? Because 1, your vote cannot be misused. And believe me, that is a big issue these days. Secondly, you are sending a message. I don't like anybody. But luckily in Bangalore Central, I think we have very good candidates, and I think we will not be needing that button, and I'm hoping after this interaction you all will decide on one of the candidates out of the 30 plus who are there and make an informed decision, and then keep following them after that. Have you done what you promised? Have you done what you promised? So with that, I'd like to invite Mr. P.C. Mohan and welcome him on stage. Mr. Prakash Raj. Mr. Rizwan Arshad is running 5 minutes late, so we will still get started. So all our 3 candidates are very famous people. They are all on Wikipedia. So I tell you, we are very lucky. We are getting messages from other parts of Bangalore saying, you guys are lucky. You all have somebody good to choose from. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about our experiences with our 3 candidates. And after that, I'm going to hand it over to Ravi. And we've got more than 100 questions, but he's going to summarize a few of them. So please be assured your questions will be asked. And whatever is left over, we will be sending it to the candidates and getting answers from them and communicating it to you. So Mr. P.C. Mohan, already Meera has introduced the affidavits. He's a 2-term MP. He has represented us from Bangalore Central. Sir, you have given the best contribution to public transport for Bangalore. The Hoodie halt station, which really made life easy for a lot of us. Please give him a hand for that. Another thing, and this is across the board, Mr. Mohan is the most approachable and friendly representative. You know, I don't give compliments easily. So I am really saying this from personal experience and experience of a lot of people who are here and a lot of people who are not here. You can pick up the phone, and it is not only as an approachable MP candidate. He is the most approachable representative out of MLAs, MPs, and even corporators. So thank you, sir, for being the most approachable person and the most friendly person. We really appreciate that, and we hope all our candidates, corporators, MLA and MPs will continue to be as friendly as he is. He has also, apart from Hodi Hall, there was a pedestrian death in Balandur, and he immediately came, helped us, went to meet Mr. Mahendra Jain, coordinated with BMRCL. All this is active, not telling us, you go coordinate, you go do this, you go do that. No, he will do it. He is coming with us. He has also come with us to KSPCB for air pollution. So a lot of cooperation is coming, and we thank you that and welcome, sir. Yes. Yes, Graphite India is closing, and yes, yes. Mr. Prakash Raj needs no introduction. He has over 2 million Twitter followers. He is a very famous actor, artist, producer, director, and I want to say, however, for Mahadevpura, you are new, but Mr. Raj, we feel you have brought a breath of fresh air and some excitement into our, into our constituency. So, thank you. One of the important things that Mr. Raj has reminded us in our interactions, brief interactions with him, is the importance of an elected rep. It's very important, we should not forget, the representative is representing our hopes, our dreams, our desires for our area. And it is their job to work on those things diligently. So this is a reminder that has come from him, that he must not only represent us, but be involved in the execution of projects. Whatever he is committing, he has to push from whichever area he can push. So that is a very important contribution that he's reminded us about. Concerns about silencing artist voices. This is something that has struck a chord amongst many of us. We must guard our freedom of expression diligently. So a very warm welcome to you, Mr. Raj, and thank you for being with us. Okay, I'll introduce Mr. Rizwan when he comes. I'm going to hand it over to Ravi.
Thank you, Anjali. Thank you, Million Voter Rising, Whitefield, the rest of the groups for again having me. You know, Whitefield Rising reaches out to me whenever they think there's a tough task and tough questions to be asked. They also call me for the assembly election talk, Mr. Mohan. In this particular case, I'm in a peculiar situation. I'm sure Mr. Mohan is going to say what he's going to do for the outer areas. I'd like to also remind Mr. Mohan, I am in Bangalore Central constituency in the inner area. So as you make promises for the outer, don't forget the inner too. Now the key thing I just want to, basically what we are going to do, and I have Mr. Prakash Raj's permission, since Mr. PC Mohan has requested that he needs to go in half an hour, we will be doing a one-on-one with Mr. PC Mohan initially, and Mr. Prakash Raj is okay with that. So that's the first thing I'd like to mention. We are living at one level over a period of the last 5 years and going forward. We now are in a new era. We have a parliamentary system where we elect members of parliament. But at one level, it is being fought as a presidential election, though we have a parliamentary system. At another level, at the voter level, the voter wants the member of parliament to be able to fix potholes and water, etc. So you have this dichotomy of a presidential kind of election, a legislature parliamentary system, an expectation of the voters which are about concerns in their area. And I think a veteran like Mr. PC Mohan is going to help us understand how all of this can be straddled. So my first question to you, Mr. Mohan, is the following. See, come election time, everybody makes promises, so we will keep that aside. In your career as a politician, as an MP for the last 10 years, what is the one achievement that you're so proud of, saying, based on this record, trust me for the future? Choose one thing that you think is being path-breaking, which says that if I can do that, trust me on my promises for the future.
Good morning, everybody. Ellarigu namaskara. See, for the last 10 years, I'm representing Bangalore Central Constituency. Twice people have blessed me. Bangalore city is one of the fastest growing city in the whole country. In Bangalore city, one of the fastest growing assembly constituency is Mahadevapura. We have about 5.2 lakh voters. Last time it was around 3.5 lakh voters. Now it is 5.2 lakh voters. And interestingly, I think most of you all know that around 12 lakh people work here in this constituency. And locals also work here, and in and around people also come and work here and go. And Mahadevapura constituency is one of the largest employment generator in the whole Karnataka, I can say.
So your achievements, sir, I want...
I'm coming to that point, sir. So the basic necessity for Bangalore city is traffic problem is there. Mobility. Today, you know, people talk good about Bangalore and they talk bad about our traffic problem. So keeping this in mind, for the last 7 years, 8 years, I've been working to get the suburban system to Bangalore, which is Bangaloreans 25, 30 years, people wanting this to come. For the last, when UPA government was also, I tried to intervene and I put pressure on that government, and I could not succeed. For the last 5 years, I could push in our government and got it sanctioned also, this suburban system to Bangalore. 1 minute. And 17,000 crore rupees also have been earmarked for this. And this is a very good achievement what I have done, because you know this is required. As per the rights report, this after the project gets completed, around 35 lakh passengers can travel on this rail suburban system, and 25% traffic can come down on the roads. That is very important because already roads are also choked. And one more thing, choked. So I'm working on this. Along with this, I'm working for last mile connectivity. My idea is the Bangalorean should not take out his two-wheeler or four-wheeler. People should travel in suburban and last mile connectivity either to metro or from the BMTC.
Thank you, sir. So basically, the suburban rail as a distinct achievement that he has pushed. For the record, the suburban rail project took life in Praja among 4 citizens who put out the idea. And of course, it's a credit to the political system that an idea that emanated from citizen groups you championed. Just a quick follow-up question there. I have questions from people which says, somebody like Mr. Mohan should be able to move this much faster like a bullet train speed rather than 5-7 years. So what's your response on fast-tracking the suburban rail adoption?
See, for the last 5 years, I've been following up with this project. I got it sanctioned. Then the proposal came from railways to state government. Pan-India policy, what they made, 60% bank loan, 20% state government contribution, 20% railway contribution. And Karnataka state government rejected that proposal. They said, we want 50-50 share. So after sending the 50-50 thing, they modified it, and central government railways agreed and sent that proposal back saying that 50-50 we will agree. And after sending the 50-50 thing also, Karnataka state government did not sign the SPV. They put new 19 conditions. Then I had to take Piyush Goyal, the minister, to Home Office of Kumaraswamy. Then I had to convince them and sit across the table, and we have sorted out. Now things have clear now. My next 5 years would be to complete that project as per the rights report. 35 lakh passengers should travel, and the coaches which are going to be air-conditioned coaches, not the conventional old coaches also, sir.
In fact, it's a skill that will be required.
That means I'm telling, earlier the central government and the railways used to be very difficult to get any sanction. Today they are clearing it fast, but the state government is lethargic. I don't know what is their idea. They should come out and tell.
Rather than, of course, what the skill required in positions like yourself is to bring diverse parties to the table for the citizen. I think that's an expected skill rather than the blame game. That's the citizen expectation.
No, 1 minute. I have done that job also, taking the Piyush Goyal to him. And across the table, we have sorted out the 19 unacceptable conditions also I have cleared.
Second thing, sir, you mentioned about the Mahadevapura being the largest constituency. The expectation of the citizens out here, the MLA is also from your party. Now, it is said that though we may have corporators, the city is run by MLAs. That is the common perception. And now, when you have an MLA from your party who can deliver, what can you as the MP from the same party for this area ensure that the promises made are delivered?
It's a very good question what you asked, sir. See, one thing, Bangalore has 198 wards. And I told you Mahadevapura is one of the fastest growing constituency. See, Mahadevapura was 10 years back, it was all totally villages. Today we are all sitting here thanks to the IT industry. Otherwise we would have not sat here also. See, one thing, in fact, about 3 to 4 months back, Bangalore Mirror, I had an interaction program also. Totally this Mahadevapura is unplanned. This is not a planned city or a planned layout or a planned town or anything like that. Villages were there, IT industries came, then residences have come. Sir, you come with me to Panatur, sir. One project which is there, can you imagine, sir, 7,600 units are there, about 25,000 to 30,000 people are going to live in that one particular locality, one apartment complex. Like that, 10, 20 are coming. And you know, anywhere you go, the apartments are there. 1 minute, sir, let me come. Apartments are there, sir. Totally. So what I have suggested about 3 months back only, with all you people, including Whitefield Rising's help, I want to make a master plan, separate master plan for Mahadevapura constituency, because 30 feet road is there. And you know, you build 10 floors in it. And where there is no, infrastructure is not there, we are doing. So that's why what I am telling, Mahadevapura should have a separate master plan for it. Then only we should allow for new construction to come. So otherwise, this is going to be a problem, sir.
Are you in favor of a separate mayor also for
And
Mahadevapura?
1 minute, 1 minute. And second thing, the thing is we have 198 wards. In 100 wards, there are no proper roads, there are no street lights also, basically. Sir, one end we are asking, a small by-lane roads we are asking, you know, which a kilometer will cost around 25-30 lakhs rupees, just for simple asphalting, sir. But the state government and the BBMP, they are adamant they want to do white topping and spend 11 crores on that road, sir, which I have opposed it also. I have written to letter to CM. I have spoken to BBMP commissioner. You are doing injustification to Bangalore. You are misusing the public money. But, you know, the government, you know, state government and BBMP, they are not in a mood to listen to people.
So,
we have been fighting for it also, sir.
So,
one end there is no road. Potholes are there. People are met with accidents, sir. Lost their lives, sir. Other end they are making 11 crores.
Just to close the question, so a separate master plan is what you will push for. No,
all you people help.
And no permissions without infrastructure provision, then no permission will be given. But more importantly, you're working in tandem with the MLA so that jointly there's an alignment to make sure that the promises are kept. Can we take that as something that you would do, sir?
Sir, again I'll tell you, see, whether my MLA, my corporators and whether it is opposition corporator also. Sir, I have no ego. I can sit with anybody. I can work with anybody. Or any organization called me also, I have come. But I'm telling you the intention of the government, intention of the BBMP. One minute, sir. 1 minute. We want simple roads, sir. They want to make asphalt, white topping roads, sir. See, these kind of a thing, even our MLA wants to get more funds, because one of the largest taxpayers in the whole Bangalore city, Mahadevapura.
Done, sir. Now moving to the central level, where if you get elected, you're going to be at Parliament, you have been in the subcommittee on urban development. As a member of Parliament, and at that level, what do you see that you can do distinctly different for cities of India, urban areas, which is inevitable, Bangalore in particular? What is the one thing that you feel you can put on your agenda that you will say that I will do this for you in Parliament? What is that?
Sir, see, I'm in Urban Development Committee for the last 5 years. And in fact, when we need to get a lot of good infrastructure projects to Bangalore, that is, one is suburban and metro expansion. See, even for the metro expansion also, second phase, 2014 we got clearance for second phase. And you know, when they started the work in Whitefield side, there were a lot of hurdles were there. I called the Metro MD to Urban Development Committee in Delhi, got cleared almost all the things. And you know, they were doing the, raising the pillars without widening the roads. All that, you know, I got it sorted out. We have done. So metro is, first is suburban, and second is metro. And for the lakes development, which I want to get more funds, because once upon a time people used to call this Bangalore as a lake city. Today all the lakes are either vanished, or there's no water source, or if water is there, that's polluted water, sewage water is left into that.
So I'd like to make a counter observation. I would say, as the member of parliament which can legislate, the reality is, while we all go to court and citizens fight on the 74th amendment, which is the only amendment we have for cities, it is flawed. Are you ready to fight for a new bill which is state of art, which decentralizes third tier of city government like the Panchayati Raj in the true sense of the term? In parliament, are you and your party willing to fight saying cities need to be in charge of their own destiny? I will do things in parliament as a common bill of the country, that we will give more power to the cities rather than trying to tinker on some projects from the central government. Are you ready to back that?
See, central government does not interfere in any state subject or BB.
No, you can pass a legislature, sir.
1 minute, let me complete. No.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
See, the central government may give money for the lakes regeneration, for lake development, and for BMRCL metro, for suburban train. But the implementing agency is the BBMP and the state government. We need to sort out here, not the central government. 1 minute. Because the implementing agency is the state. Because the central will not come. Suppose they give money for the lakes development,
Sir,
central
can I come in,
government
sir?
minister will not come and
Sir,
stand here.
I'll come in, sir. The
So
center-
what I feel, whatever we are doing, we the state say BBMP and the state government we have to do.
No, sir, I disagree. The center government can say, if you don't give more powers to the city government, I will not give you money. Why don't you link reform at the state level with money from the center? Why don't you pass a new constitutional amendment which is more powerful than the 74th for cities? That would be a systemic improvement.
Sir, this one, what is there, you know, in our system, whatever is there, it has been doing. And, you know, as I told you earlier also, it is the implementing agency is the state and the local bodies. Okay, we cannot interfere as a member of parliament. I cannot interfere in Gram Panchayat because they have their power. Because the money comes directly to them, they spend money. That is the system we are working in. See, one thing,
So
if
I'm
at all
asking you
this
to
has
change
to
the
be
system
done,
for cities.
if at all this has to be done, all parties in the
All
country,
Yes, all parties. I'm
alone I
asking-
cannot do.
Agree.
All parties in the country has to take a decision for it. You all move, definitely we will also support for this.
Okay.
As a member of parliament, I support.
Thank you. My last question before I go to the citizen questions. This is really a wish question. So we are seeing into the future. We have Prime Minister Modi. And Prime Minister Modi, it's a hypothetical question, tells Mr. P.C. Mohanji, Mohanji, you can ask me one wish for your constituency. One wish मैं पूरा करूँगा. What will that wish be for Bangalore Central or Mahadevpura? There is one wish because we are all finally saying there's a Prime Minister who will take care of national interests. But he tells the MP of Bangalore Central, I will fulfill one wish of yours. What will be the one wish you will ask the Prime Minister for this constituency?
Sir, in this case, I am little greedy, sir. I may not ask him one.
In एक ही सब.
Okay. So I'll ask him for more projects like suburban, then metro. For the Bangalore infrastructure also, I'll try and ask for more money. Because, you know, Bangalore requires, see, one thing I cannot say, one wish, only my suburban, that's end. No, we need money for lakes development. We need money for metro expansion. Because when I went to Sarjapur Road, they were telling a metro should be extended. So we need. So Bangalore infrastructure, whatever in future we plan, I request him to support all these things, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mohan.
I welcome
This
Rizwan Arshad.
Rizwan Arshad, also to the dais. So, if you can, three for the photographs. he needed to leave by 10:30, so we are just doing one-on-one. The questions are over. We are now going to the citizen questions. After that, we do one-on-one with you and lastly with Prakash Raj. So that'll be the format. So Mohanji, that completes the 4 questions I wanted to ask. Now, moving on to some of the citizen questions, there will be scope for 1 or 2 questions from the audience to ask you. But people have asked 1 or 2 questions which they are scared to stand up and ask. So there's a little bit of worry that, can I stand up and ask this question? Which I'll ask in a generic way. It's come among the 100-odd questions. There is a concern that the way we are going, Raghuram Rajan recently said, you cannot have economic growth without social harmony. So there is a little bit of worry that are we getting so polarized that it might actually make life difficult going forward? And what can we do to reduce the temperatures of that kind of polarization, etc., that is visible in the marketplace, is one of the generic questions out here. The second question is whether you see the issue of electoral bonds and funding and thing. The government, and this might be true of across parties, is fundamentally opaque and not transparent when it comes to them. But citizens want transparency, so they are worried that when you're fundamentally opaque in anything concerning you, how do we take your promises of transparency when it comes to citizens? These are 2 generic questions that people said I can't stand up and ask. Rest we'll ask 1 or 2 people to ask questions that they want. If you'd like to respond to these 2, sir.
See, Raghuraman is not the only economist in our country. There are others also.
He was RBI governor, that's why I quoted him.
1 minute. He has given his opinion. Today you see our growth is good. We are one of the best destination FDI, foreign direct investment. For foreign direct investment, India is the best destination. Our growth also is there.
Oh. Any questions from the audience? Can we have 1 or 2 mics? Can you decide, Nitya, can I use your help? You decide who will ask.
Certain things I can answer.
10:30 you'll be done, 5 minutes we are done.
Not that. Some issues our party spokesman can come.
And also, Anjali, Nitya, this group is anyway knows who to
Regularly
catch.
for the last 10 years I'm interacting with them.
Sir, audible?
Yeah.
Thank you. Sir, PC Mohan, sir, you've been very, very approachable, as everybody said. There's a lot of questions. One of the first questions that he was not able to, I don't know if you got the sentiment of it very clearly, but this has come to us from many places. The biggest question right now is, many people are feeling for BJP, they like BJP, but there is this great worry about harmony, as he just said. So very specific, harmony and polarization. All the silencing of voices, etc., that Mr. Prakash Raj has also talked about. So the very specific question for you is, what is your opinion on how communications come out from BJP on this subject, and what is your specific opinion on the minorities of this nation? Yeah?
See, let me start from Bangalore Central. For the last 10 years, I'm representing Bangalore Central. Twice people have blessed me. I have got elected, all religion, all caste, everybody has voted me. First time I got 35,000 lead, second time I got 137 lead. And throughout the country you say, after Narendra Modi ji becoming, there is no communal fight or anything like that.
Sir, so you don't agree with some of the very difficult to understand statements coming out of BJP, at the center, the communications that are coming out related to polarization. Everybody knows the writing is on the wall. So you don't agree with that kind of non-harmony. You are in support of Muslims, Christians in this nation yourself.
Madam, see, I am representing Bangalore Central. Lot of minorities are there. They have blessed me also. There is no problem. There is no problem at all.
So there
when
is
282 seat Modi gets, without everybody's seat will he get? Without everybody's support will he get 282
So your
seats?
view is that you believe in communal harmony across the nation?
No, I don't believe.
Okay.
But Modi is a secular thing. We have after Narendra Modi becoming the Prime Minister of this country, there is no communal fight.
Okay, that's what you mean. You mean there should be communal harmony. Okay.
Okay, just there's time for 1 question and then we will let you go, sir, so that your turn. There's just one question. I'm sorry. We'll just do one. Keep it brief, and then we need to move on.
Sir,
there's one
last
question
time we had meet at Bangalore Mirror, I had given you writing that we are living in Nalari Hulli Road, and Nalari Hulli Road, I had given writing in all the documents at Bangalore Mirror Summit. We had met 3 months back.
At Bangalore Mirror Summit, he met you and gave you some demands.
And I had written to PMO also. PMO had given me reply also.
What was your this thing?
We have no footpath, we have no street light, we have no gutter system, we don't have proper electricity, we
Okay.
don't have water.
We get the idea. It's a local concern on that area.
But sir, 1 minute. Sir, I had written several times to corporate. I am asking you why you, MLA and corporate, sit together and solve our problems.
Sir, our state government and the BBMP have no roads for small roads, asphalting. We don't have money, sir. We have only for tender sure and white topping, sir. That's all, sir.
Okay. Now, Mr. Mohan, as I said, needs to go. We have just two things, Mr. Mohan, before you go. There's a citizen manifesto that the group would like to read out to all the three candidates. And they would like to introduce Mr. Rizwan, whose introduction was left, after which you could leave, sir. So can I have this, please? Who's doing the citizen manifesto?
Yeah, Zibi is going to just give a quick summary, and then we want to present it to Mr. Mohan, who's to leave, and take a little photo with that.
Hello everybody. Thank you Mr. Rizwan, Mr. PC Mohan, Mr. Prakash Raj for coming here. We know it's a very, very busy day for you and thank you for taking the time. So very quickly, we have put together a citizen manifesto. We have four points, very short, but they cover a vast topic. I'll go through this quickly. One is, we are all infamous for traffic. Mr. PC Mohan also said that in his intro. Public transport. We have all been batting for public transport. We have 30 years has been the timeline so far. We have been asking for suburban rail network for 30 years. We want that to be fast-tracked. Bangalore is traffic log jam at all times. Metro connectivity, suburban rail, BMTC, so that there is last mile connectivity. All these options have to be explored. This is our request to our candidate who will be representing us to fast-track these projects so we can move faster on these things. These issues can be solved. Next one is the IT corridor. Everybody keeps talking about this corridor, Mahadevpura being the Silicon Valley, the silicon of the Bangalore Silicon Valley, right? And in India, everybody's really happy. But if you come here, we are asking for very, very basic things like this, like the audience member asked. We are asking for water, we are asking for street lights, we are asking for parking. If at one point you are touting that this area is the pride of India, how can you treat the citizens who live here so shabbily? There should be a special fund created for this IT corridor, so basic things like water, drainage system, all these can be met. This is a critical ask because we cannot continue in such a fashion. There is no water in this area. So those are things that will have to be given special focus. Belandur Lake. Bangalore is a garden city, was known as a garden city for a long, long time, but now the frothing lakes that catch fire, this is not what we want to be known for. Belandur, Varthur lakes, water scarce city, these things should be given focus. We want Belandur and Varthur lakes to be a showpiece. Places where people can go in the evening for a walk and not places where people go to take a picture because it looks like Jammu Kashmir at one point or it's catching fire and it's across the world media. And last but not the least, air pollution. One of the key things that is becoming a critical focus is air pollution. It's a killer. Bangalore has a blue sky problem. We think we can see the blue sky, so the air is good. But the numbers tell a different story. At some points, at certain parts of the city, it's actually worse than Delhi. There has to be a comprehensive plan, and we, as part of the National Clean Air Program, we want the MP to fight for this at the parliament level and push through for all cities in India and especially your constituency and for Bangalore. So it's 4 points which covers a whole lot of things that face us as citizens. Thank you.
I'd now request Mr. Ajit Lakshmiratan, who's a
1 minute.
member.
Let me just
yes.
little clarification on that. On suburban network, definitely the next 5 years we will take up and see that it is completed. And I would like to add one thing. BMTC is carrying almost 65 lakh passengers a day. In fact, what I have suggested earlier also to the Transport Minister and the Chief Minister also, that, I do not say that the BMTC should run under law. You give as a subsidy from the state government as an infrastructure so that the ticket fares are less. So more number of people will use public transport, there will be less traffic on the road. This is one suggestion I have given to the thing. And second thing about the lakes, for the lakes regeneration, for the last 4.5 years, hundreds of crores have been given from the central government. Earlier, central government never used to give money for the lakes development, earlier governments also. But after my intervention, they have added this into the Amrut scheme and given money to the state lake regenerations also, one. And the second thing, what I want to bring it to you people notice is, see, the urbanization is becoming more. We are using more of groundwater, which is, today you put borewell, 1,000 feet, 1,200 feet, 1,500 feet we go also, we don't get water. We all should, it becomes our responsibility, elected representative and the citizens and the NGOs, we all should work together to recharge the lakes and groundwater. See, the only thing, in fact, I have suggested the Pollution Control Board for new construction, not the smaller sites, the bigger construction, whichever take, you should not allow them to use groundwater. They should use only recycled water, so that the recycled water also we should start using, so that the groundwater also will go up. This is the thing. And STP should be put, whichever lake does not have water sources, these treated water should go into that.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I would now request Mr. Just give me two here. Just Neetu is coming from. And Ms. Neetu Tandon to present the Citizen Manifesto to all the candidates. Sir, 1 minute, please. Please, one moment. Yeah. This is our Citizen Manifesto. Neetu, side here. We'd like you to please take the Citizen Manifestos and should I do? Thank you. Arshad, I think there was some mix-up with the timing. Please. I request all the photographers to please be seated and be on the side. Mr. Arshad, as you know, is the youngest of the nominees at just 39, and we really like his quiet energy. Mr. Arshad has worked with us very diligently on a very important topic, bribe-free khatas. So please give a round of applause. Citizens have saved crores of rupees on this topic, and he has been helping us with the very elusive Sakala process. He's also, when we approached him with a problem with pedestrian safety on Whitefield Main Road, he helped us to get high-rise pedestrian crossings. And this has improved the pedestrian safety immensely. So thank you, Mr. Arshad, for doing that. We like you as a very keen listener, and you're eager to experiment with new technologies. And you have given MLC funds, as you know, for the mini STP project, which is something new, which has not been tried out before in Bangalore. So we thank you for taking initiative on new technologies and new things. So welcome to you, Mr. Arshad. With that, now I would hand it back to Ravi.
Thank you. So we continue with this. I again have Mr. Prakash Raj's permission to do one-on-one with Rizwan. And no, we'll finish. He'll wait. He said, no, we'll finish with you. And then we will do. There was a request. Some people said, can we now have a debate format? We can't change it in between. Either all three were available and we had debate. Since we have chosen to go the one-on-one route, that's the route that we will continue with. So Rizwanji, I mean, if you could take the mic. There are 4 questions. Fortunately for me, you haven't heard it, though he has already heard it. I'll ask him different questions.
Is this?
Not this.
No.
My first question really is, Rizwan, is you are unproven, untested, in the sense that Mr. Mohan has been for 2 terms. And so there are promises that you have made. There's a party manifesto, your promises, etc. Tell us something about your record so far that shows that you have a credible record, track record, of one distinctive thing that you have done for citizens in your area in Bangalore, something that you're proud of, saying that, look, I entered public life to be able to do something like this. So that people can then hear that and say, if you can do that, then you can do the other things that you're promising for the future.
I would have been happy, sir, if it was a debate format, because the custodian of Bangalore Central for last 10 years was here, and still I could not debate with him.
Correct.
I have been appearing and appealing and requesting him on various platforms, please come, let us have a debate. Not against each other, but for Bangalore Central. But I don't know, my friend has been avoiding the debate, but it's okay, nevertheless. Sir, you have put a very relevant question to me. No, sir. No. Please.
One second.
Please,
See,
please,
there was,
sir.
I hate to say this. No, 1 second.
Please.
There was confusion. 1 second.
Please.
No, 1 second. Can I just...
Please.
Please, let's continue. Please sit down.
Please, no. I was initially given the time at 10:30.
No, 1 second, please. Let's carry on. And just for I'll answer that, please. Just for the record, earlier, sir, we had a time of 10:30, which got advanced to 10 o'clock at Mr. Mohan's request, saying that I can only come early at 10. So there's a background to it, sir, please. There was a background, so please, sir, let's not make accusations which are not warranted. That's all I'm just saying.
Sir, I believe this platform is a very important platform, sir. So I have also taken out my time because this is a platform where you discuss real issues. And I respect this platform for that.
Right.
And like various other platforms like this across, we have not been able to encounter. I and Prakash also tried to request him to come on, but it's okay, not an issue. You have been asking about my commitment.
Something that you feel proud and saying that this is what got me into public life and I want to do more of it. What is that?
Sir, I have not come from any political background.
Right.
From my father, grandfather, or nobody has been an MLA, MLC, minister, even a corporator for that matter. I've come through student activism and then youth activism. I was the Youth Congress president for the state. I have led movements on different issues in the state before coming up to this level where my party thought me fit enough to be a candidate, fit enough to be in this place. So I have the tendency to fight on issues and not to compromise. Because when you grow without any particular political mentor, father, grandfather, having a political crowd, the only way you can grow is through fighting and being active and being there where you're needed to be.
So any one issue on which your participation and activism made a difference?
Okay, so I should go back beyond this. Okay.
Yeah, it's earlier.
As a Youth Congress president, I got a program done where we said it is a helping hand program. Earlier there were 176 taluk offices across the country. We had a 1 week camp across all 176 taluk offices where I traveled across around 70, 80, 90 taluk offices in a span of a week, where my activists had a pendal, sat there, asked people, what's your problem? Why are you coming to taluk office? Somebody said, I'm coming there for 15 days, 20 days, 1 month, 3 months, to get my thing done, this is not happening, this guy is asking some bribe or this guy is doing something. We registered it, took him in, we asked him why this work is not happening. Okay? Certain places we got the bribes given back to him and got his work done. Certain things which we could not
And this whole
solve.
program was driven by you.
Yes, of course.
That is basically fine.
So these are the certain things. I mean, if I remember, there are a lot more things.
The idea is to get a sense so that people get.
The idea was, then we got nearly 1,82,3,000 people registered in our registers, and we could solve around a lakh or 4,000-5,000 complaints then and there. Then we took the rest of the complaints to the Chief Minister. And then from him we got certain directions done, and that was the story.
Okay. So taking on from that, I know this is a member of parliament election and we'll come to the parliament role. If you got 2 lakh petitions, I'm sure this group can give you 10 lakh things to solve. That's the nature of problems in Mahadevapura and the extended area and the Bangalore Central constituency also. So my question really is the following. People expect you to be able to fix that. Your party is in power at the state level, is in power at the corporation level. In your central constituency, a certain MLAs are from your party. May not be the Mahadevapura one, but certain are. The question for you is, how can you influence these people who are from your party to be able to address the problems that people have got, which they expect a member of parliament to do, because finally it's about water, potholes, traffic and all that stuff.
Sir, what I have seen here and understood is it's not about individuals. Every individual might be willing to work, few might be lethargic. But here I have seen is the structure which governs the city is not the structure which is as robust as it should have been. Okay, whether it's BBMP, that's an unscientific structure and which is a burden on the city rather than moving this city ahead. Until you rectify these structural flaws, restructure this organization, make it robust and near the people. You can't have a BBMP of 847 square kilometer area. You can't expect someone from Whitefield and Bellandur and Nakundi to go to Hudson Circle to get their problems solved. You need to have a corporation for the eastern zone, where your mayor will be elected directly from the eastern zone with a fixed tenure. You'll have decentralized powers for that. Unless the structural things are not set right, you cannot depend on individuals. Why are we depending on individuals? You need to have a structure to deliver. So my commitment is we need to restructure this.
So if I can quickly come in, because I have a bias. I wrote the report on restructuring. It is lying in government.
Yes.
So do we have your commitment that you will push for that with your government?
I'll fight for this. Not only push for that, I'll fight for this. Sir, mayor, the issue with the mayor is he has 12 months tenure. First 3 months is his felicitation. Last 3 months is his farewell.
I know that.
Okay? So the mayor cannot do anything. You need to have a fixed tenure. Directly elected mayor, fixed tenure. He should have some idea, vision and time to deliver.
So that's an interesting point that you have started, that structurally we need to fix the place and you will fight for it. Now there are specific issues. It could be Bellandur Lake, it could be an underpass, traffic, 30 feet roads. In those kind of situations, which technically is the remit of the corporator, and there's a perception that the city is run by MLAs, what can you do as an MP to influence that in the right direction?
Sir, if I am given a chance to be an MP, I missed a chance last time, I was a candidate. I can just tell you people that I'm not come with, say that, A, B, C, D, 10 things, because I have got a manifesto of my friend Mr. Mohan of last 5 years. I don't want to come out with anything like that, specific. Few friends here might be hurt, because there was a bullet train promised from Bangalore to Delhi in this. There was AIMS which was promised. There was 10,000 crore rupees special fund which was promised. I can share with all of you. 2014, they have released a manifesto.
Bullet train is there, sir.
Yeah, bullet train is there. It's looking very good here. Okay?
But it can also be the metro.
No. I've come with a document. I don't speak anything
It's a joke,
which is not documented.
Boss, be light-hearted. It's just a joke.
Yes, sir, I'll share it with you. So I come
We
everything
request
with a
you to
document.
please
Sir.
keep silent.
Please,
Anybody disrupting will be taken out, please.
Please, carry on.
And there is no
Please.
personal comment about anybody, sir.
So let's go on to
We are-
fixing
People,
problems.
can I have one
Excuse
minute?
me just for a minute. No,
Sir.
I'll do it. No, please, Nitya, just wait. Lakes.
It's-
1 second, please. Please, this is a civilized debate. If you can't participate in a civilized debate, please.
Please, the
That's why I'm
moderator-
requesting him also to keep quiet. Please.
Please allow
So,
the
one
moderator
second.
to continue.
One
We do
second.
not want any
So,
disturbance.
this one,
please.
coming back to the question is day-to-day problems of traffic.
Can I just intervene? I request, let the candidate speak. You decide later. It would be nice, so you will know if he is personally doing it or whatever. But if you give them to speak, then otherwise it is trying to, we need to go out of the agenda and try to pacify you. So let us, let you citizens sit, listen. You decide. Thank you.
Thank you, Prakash. So this one, the question again, just to get the focus. There are day-to-day problems, be it traffic, water, pollution, etc. And that requires a joint effort to fix it. What is it that is in your plans to be able to deliver on that? Though you're an MP, the expectation is you play a role here. So what will you do?
Sir, if you have followed my campaign for the last 15 days or so, you can see me talking only about Bangalore and nothing beyond Bangalore. I have not touched any emotional issue. I don't want to touch any bigger national issue. Even though my friends talk about national security, I believe that there is a great Indian army which will protect us. Let us leave that responsibility to them. Let us talk about issues which are concerning the citizens of Bangalore. So I have struck only to the issues which have concerned the citizens of Bangalore. Okay? My take is, as an MP, certainly I can't do a job of a corporator. But an international city like Bangalore, where we feel proud that we are Bangaloreans, we are contributing so much for the nation building, we are the Silicon Valley of this part of the world, and all that, whatever we take pride in. This city needs a vocal voice. This city needs a voice which is constantly heard. If you have to prepare the city for the future, you need someone to constantly talk in the parliament, talk in the corridors of Vidhan Sabha, talk on the streets of Bangalore. It's not about one issue, two issues, sir. Issues are plenty. The custodian of Bangalore, whoever becomes MP, 1, 2, 3, they have to start talking about Bangalore. Make Bangalore an agenda. Knock the doors of the central government. Wake them up. Say, we are also there, because we are not competing with Bombay, Mumbai or Chennai and Calcutta. We are competing with international cities. We deserve more. We deserve more. And we need, and until we make noise, until we make this as an agenda, this is not going to move ahead. I can promise one thing, I can be the most vocal voice. I can be accessible. I have tried to be accessible. There are a lot of familiar faces here whom I have connected personally. Certain issues which I could do for them, if I have given a chance for 2 minutes, I can tell. Otherwise, I'll leave it at that.
Right.
But Bangalore deserves a vocal voice, constantly talking about Bangalore, raising the bar of the city, telling the government that this city cannot be left to be gone on a structure like BBMP. Right. It's also the responsibility of the state government as well as the union government to take care of this city, because this city is contributing to the nation building.
Correct. Which brings me to the central level. So within the parliament, this idea of cities having more power and proper structure, within parliament, what would your stance be as an MP at an individual level and within your party? Because one of your party members actually moved an independent members bill. Shashi Tharoor moved a bill about directly elected mayor and more powers for the city as an independent thing. Where do you stand on championing an idea like that at an overall party level, saying let's go beyond the 74th constitutional amendment to give more powers to the city?
Sir, if you remember when our party was in power last 5 years during Mr. Siddaramaia's tenure, we constituted BS Patil committee. If I'm not wrong, you were part of that, sir? Yes. Okay, you were part of that. You people broke your heads down, came out with a formula where you will have a metropolitan council where chief minister will be the head of the metropolitan council for the city. You will have different corporations, mayors, directly elected mayors with fixed tenures, and it will be members of the parliament and assembly will be the members of the metropolitan council, and chief minister, whenever needed, will lend the helping hand in the governance of the city. That was the model and which has to be pursued. We have passed it in assembly, but unfortunately my friends in my opposition party said, you're breaking our Bangalore. you're restructuring the governing body. You're not breaking the city. Right. I mean, for God's sake, administrative structure is different and city is different. Every time you can't bring in emotions and stop the restructuring work. So they stopped it on the basis of saying you are dividing Bangalore.
So are you ready to carry this idea into the parliament and strengthen a law from there to make this happen?
Certainly, yes, sir. I'll be pushing it in the state level also. I'll be pushing it in the parliament, provided you send me first there.
Suppose you had the wish, my last question before I go to citizen questions, and I also need to go to Prakash. You had a wish that you could ask Mr. Kumaraswamy and Mr. Parmeshwara about, do this for Bangalore Central. What would that one big wish be for your constituency? Because they have a chance to be actually able to do it, because the state has considerable powers. So you're given one wish to ask them for this constituency. What will that wish be that do this as something?
Sir, I can't be telling one wish because Bangalore Central is a very different cosmopolitan constituency.
Okay, but you give that one most important and I'll allow you to add two, three small ones.
I will just, because the composition of this constituency is such, it starts from Chamrajpete, starts from Rajaji Nagar, comes to Gandhi Nagar, Shivaji Nagar, yes, Shanti Nagar, Sarvagnya Nagar, C.V. Raman Nagar, Madhavpura. Every region has a different set of issues. Every region. Problems are plenty. There are huge slums. There are huge IT sector, coming up. But one thing I would wish is, when there is no infrastructure, don't give sanctions. First give infrastructure, then give sanctions. That should be the mantra.
So permissions only if the infrastructure is available. Otherwise,
yes, of course. If the government has not provided any infrastructure, why are you giving them sanctions to come up with huge structures when then you're struggling to provide infrastructure there? So there has to be some, systematic way where you can develop things. Good. So now the thing is, I get a land somewhere cheap, somewhere little bit outskirts, there is no infrastructure, because for my convenience I go and build there. Okay, there is a ready facility available, I won't come here. There is infrastructure, but there are plenty of issues. Bangalore cannot be handled like any other city, sir. You need to have a special hand for Bangalore. Yeah, you need to have a special voice for Bangalore. This is what I request even the state government and the central government also.
Right. In fact, a lesser known reality of Bangalore, which we did when we did that committee work, there is more Bangaloreans living outside the outer ring road than within the outer ring road. And you, of course, have a constituency that straddles both. That's the reality which has to be...
Unfortunately, sir, you have the same funds for a ward of small population, then you have a ward of huge population.
I know.
Unless you restructure those, this is not going to solve any issue.
So moving on to Prakash, we'll do the one-on-one and we'll do the questions together. Prakash, first thing, I must thank you for two things. For kindly agreeing from the beginning, saying, let's do one-on-one, and I'm ready to wait for my chance. And I know as an actor, I think you know when to take the cues and act on it. And secondly, your intervention to get the crowd to also listen to you. Prakash, you could have chosen not to do this. But you have chosen to enter the fray as an independent. We know that independence is a much tougher thing than the party system. What prompted you to do this at one level? And what part of your non-acting career was a trigger to say that, look, one needs to do this, enough and no more? What prompted you, Prakash?
Good morning, everyone. And before I start, here is a manifesto. It's been done of 3 months of research with the people by my team, and it's available for you to download on www.prakashraj.com. I wish you take up time to go through it, and you will see your voice in it. Now, coming to, it's a very wonderful question that what prompted me. If you had asked me a few months back, I wouldn't have been interested in electoral politics. Because I have been chiseled with my literature or the different movements I have come. I always believed that I should be an eternal opposition party in life. As a citizen, as an actor, as an activist. What triggered me,
I believe this mic is better. So just use this. Because that corner, they're not able to put.
I was not given this mic, sir.
No.
I'm favoring the actor.
okay. What triggered me, if you go back a little back, I have been doing theatre, I've been working in the forests with the Karnataka government as a brand ambassador for the Safe Tiger projects, adopting villages and schools like that. But as you all know, what triggered me not into politics, but into being very vociferously open was the sort of dissent voices being silenced. Though that is not the political reason I'm here, but somewhere I felt responsible because losing Gauri was a very personal pain and I'll not get her back. But I didn't want another Gauri to happen. I think that was the only reason I raised my voice and started just asking. And last parliamentary elections, I've been very vocal about the harmony of this country, and I was against a communal political party, though I did not support any political party. I traveled across Karnataka, throughout Karnataka. Later, after the assembly elections, I said, chalo, let me be active. So I have adopted villages and I started working on 6 government schools to empower it. I wouldn't call adopting a government school. It is nobody's property, it's our property. And I've come across a lot of things, people. But the parliamentary election was coming, in December. I was sitting with my friends and we were discussing, he's just asking enough. And then we were structuring saying that, why are we in this rhetoric of a blame game? This party, that party. What is the root cause of all corruption and non-governance? We need to understand that. Because the whole election has become a business nowadays. It has become an event, it has become a branding, it is marketing, and 55% of vote percentage. Then we realized, we assessed as a team and said, I think the root cause is the electoral process itself. I think it is time that we citizens, instead of blaming political parties and leaders, we have ourselves to blame too. We have let this happen. Democracy in this country was never party-based. The Constitution says a representative of a constituency who gets elected by their people to represent the aspirations, the issues, and the vision of that constituency. Because there's 130 crore people now, 90 crore voters. These guys, 543 of them, come together and in consensus form a ruling government and the opposition. That was what it is. And I see the whole party system has actually changed this thing. And we need to get in as independents, get this thought process among the people that we need to have a participative democracy by citizens, a participative governance too. Because India, though it is a democracy, it is federal in nature because of varied languages, varied religions, varied cultures. So we need to work like it cannot be an European democracy with one language and things like that. So how do we do that? I had to be independent out of political parties. We need to understand, we need to structure a lot of things in this country. Our study and my perception is the idea of national parties to hold on to the country have not restructured what is a state subject and what is a national subject. We need to restructure that. Farming cannot be a national subject. They have a hold. From the center, they take taxes from every state and they have one solution. But actually, if you look at it very organically, a farmer's issues, a farmer who farms next to a river has a different issue. And it is so different an issue of a farmer who depends on one rain a year or a farmer who is on the hillocks. It has to be a state issue. So all this is because we need to restructure the party system. We need to understand what an MP is, what a representative is. And very reluctantly, I knew I had to leave a comfort zone. But we have seen a lot of people in this country, for make it smooth, have left their control zone. And when I can afford to lose a comfort zone, I think it is important that I leave a comfort zone and come. And that's what the responsibility and taking over the onus of responsibility is what triggered me to get into electoral politics.
And you chose an independent route over getting into a party and trying to reform from within. You didn't have that option?
It is not the, see, with any political party, what happens is you have a whip. You have a whip wherein even if you want to, it is very difficult to push. That majority has failed actually. For example, farm loan waiving. We see we are doing it more as a vote bank politics. What I request is, if in Karnataka the loan is waived today, every one of us will have 50,000 loan on our head. We are fine. We will do it to the farmers. But what will you do next time? Will you do waive the loan? Or instead of a vote bank politics, will you say, let us have cold storages. Let us have places how to tell farmers how to grow. You see the farmer sees a 50 rupee on a tomato price, everybody grows tomato. By the time they reap, it's 5 rupees. Now, why don't you organize colonies with your agriculture department? You need to have an intent. You need to understand from Gulbarga down there is so much of sugarcane grown. Because of the influence of the Maharashtra farmers, now you have killed the ecosystem itself. Drought is a national calamity, but you are given importance to water-intensive growth.
Understand.
Like
so,
that.
Prakash, if I can, and Rizwan, just quickly, I want to ask Rizwan something. He makes the point about party whip system, even the anti-defection law.
What I say is, in spite of him being really honest,
I know.
Being in a party will
No,
hold
I
him is what I
understand
say.
that. The question I have, just a quick question for general, this is more general rather than thing. When is the last time in Parliament that people were allowed to vote by conscience? It happens overseas, where you say, I free you from the whip, and you can vote based on what you believe in, as opposed to saying toe the party line. I'm just curious, when did it last happen, such that moderates can come together on an issue and say, this issue be across parties? Just a quick question, it's more general knowledge.
No, I never been into parliament, so I don't know when they had a conscious this thing. But what I believe is, any country to go ahead needs stability. And stability comes when you are like, for example, 5 siblings at a home, they all think 5 different ways. They can't think along in a single way. So, if you want to have stability, you need to have a stable government. If you want to have a stable government, you need to have a system. If for example, if 543 people, independents, get elected in the central level, what happens? Will the government function? It won't. So, you need to have a system. And why the whip? Because there has been instances. Why anti-defection law? There has been instances where people defect from one party to another. So when they are elected on a manifesto, when they are elected on a symbol, elected on a party's commitment, they should stick with it. So I feel that we can't criticize, or we can't feel that this is something which is a hindrance in the development. It can't be seen in that way. You need to have stability to move forward. India, no amount of whatever we feel that is lacking, we have also progressed in last 70 years.
Yes. So, okay.
We have also progressed.
So, okay, we'll come back. So, coming back to you, Prakash, so you chose to be this independent, this thing. The record of independent member bill is dismal. So, in Parliament, the ability of an independent dream is a seriously hung Parliament. That is when the lottery is seen to be in favor of the independent. By any chance, did you have that in mind when you stood as independent, that this could be a lottery?
No. I stood as an independent because I need to be elected for this conversation and what I stand for, because I have a vision. I have worked to know the reasons why we are on this brink. If you don't know the reasons why we are here, we'll be only complaining and we'll be only seeking, like beggars will asking you, do this one project, do this one project. It's not that. I had a vision, and this is a movement. It is a movement to empower us together to work. We need to understand first our political consciousness first, because we are the ones who are making the mistakes. We are the one, because when we choose wrong, see, in election, no party wins or loses, no candidate wins or loses. You elect the right candidate, people win. If you don't elect the right candidate, people lose.
So there, Prakash, as we've already heard the previous two times, people have local concerns. And while all this talk about electoral reform and the larger idea of what participative democracy is good and desirable, and that conversation needs to be had, there are practical things that people say that, look, my vote for this person will fix. At the end of the day, we are selfish human beings. I want my neighborhood to work. So as an independent MP, how do you see that playing? Because all the MLAs, corporators, none of them, you only have some kind of influence of a certain kind, but beyond that, maybe oratorial skills. How do you hope to be able to deliver on what people want fixed in their localities?
For years, we have been watching these debates, saying we need to have majority. And for years, we have been saying, putting the blame game on, it is not an MP's job, it is a corporator job, the MLA comes in between. I think this is the trap we have gone into. An MP has his voice in the parliament, not only in the parliament, in the stand-up committees. If he is well informed, he asks the right questions and he has an intent. And I think you're all aware, an MLA and MP by default is a member of BBMP. Yes. And an MP has the right to walk into any of these offices and ask for transparency and why those things are not done. We are not seeing MPs doing that. One. Secondly, you are not alone when you're elected. You represent lakhs of people. You need to work for them. And I need the citizens to be with an MP. If together we can work, because I represent you. And if you are going to say, Prakash, you go ahead, we have elected you and now we are going to sit and do the job, this is not going to happen in this country. Because it is our tax money, it is our these things. See, and then what you need to understand from an independent MP is, together, you, lakhs of people who may vote me to power is, you should understand what is the vision I am giving you on every issue which we are facing today. And I want you to be convinced of the vision, and I want you to be with me with that vision. And that is why I asked you to read the manifesto. This is one vision which has your voice. See, until and unless all of us leave our comfort zones, at least to some extent, I am ready to leave a lot of comfort zone because I'm already rich, I've already got name, so I can afford it. It is not that I'm going to sell my property and come. I know you're all stuck in certain issues, but you need to understand, until and unless we both are participative, a single MP cannot do anything. And ask me on issues, then I'll tell you the vision. And we'll also say where we have reached this process of water crisis, or the dust, or the traffic. We need to learn from others' mistakes and ours' mistake too.
Thank you. In fact, what Prakash is basically saying, I'll come to the questions. He is no Whitefield Rising, Belandur Jyotige, all of you, please provide one table for Prakash to come and work alongside with you. I just want to make a quick point regarding the restructuring bill. In the restructuring bill, the corporations, the MLAs and MPs don't have a voice. They are at the apex body at Bangalore, but not in the local bodies, just as a matter of the suggestion.
And as I agree with Rizwan on restructuring this thing, and you all need to understand what I am talking, is I'm not asking about you to be politically active and conscious only with this MP elections. As long as for the next 5 years, the citizens of Bangalore become an example that you have this conscience and you will choose your corporator, you will choose your ward members, things are not going to work. We need to do that. We need to have this because we need to have somebody who is accountable. We need to have citizen committees. We need them to be our representatives. You do an MP, then you keep quiet. No, sir. Until and unless we, the citizens of Bangalore, say that we need a dialogue, we need a vision, whether it is a corporator, whether it is a ward member, whether it is an MLA, we need to understand that.
So we'll now go to the questions and put up, and I'm going to ask the help of the local people to find. I have one question for you, Rizwan, before, and this is a citizen question that has come. One of the key expectations of citizens, apart from fixing problems, is, you can have that mic now.
Thank you.
Is one of the expectations of government is transparency. And governments inherently are opaque. Till the last breath, they will try to obfuscate or not give you. What will you do differently The trust deficit between citizen and government is huge. It's broken down. I don't trust government. And government says we will dodge. How do we bridge this on the issue of transparency? Because finally it's taxpayers' money, taxpayers' thing. A response on that, and then we'll go to the general Q&A.
See, a few years back, there was no tool where a citizen could reach to the files of the government and what it has been noted there, until we brought in RTI. Okay? We have to agree that with the 10 rupee application, now any citizen can question and know what is happening in which file. So that was got by our government. But unfortunately, that has been diluted in the last few years. That has to be strengthened. That is the tool for the common man to know what's happening in the government. And more laws like this, more legislations like this, you can't just depend that morally you be responsible. No, it doesn't work like that. You need to place systems where people get to know what's happening. Then these systems only, like RTI, we need to bring in more legislations, and you need to strengthen those legislations so that a common citizen today can know what's happening in the highest level in the government.
Thanks, Rizwan. We now, please sit down. We go to Q&A. I've requested Meera's help in deciding who will ask so that you can get angry with Meera rather than with me. So, Meera, your call.
Okay, so we'll take 3 questions at a time and then they can answer it
done.
together.
I think he's been standing.
Yeah.
Myself, Sheetal Kulkarni, a software engineering, very recently moved to this area. So my question is to Mr. Rizwan Arshad ji. It's good that you brought in RTI, that RTI is the greatest tool from which we are getting much of the information, where the project is standing and stalling. So very recently we filed an RTI on the artillery roads which connecting to outer ring roads. So what is the work going on there and where it's exactly got stuck? As you know, there are many artillery roads which connects to outer ring road, which are everyday choked. So we citizens are suffering like hell on roads. And one of the such road is Panantur railway underbridge, which is like thousands of people are suffering daily. And 3 people have died in last 6 months, and no BBMP officer has visited there and asked our problems. So with RTI, we got to know that railway has asked BBMP 6 years back in 2013, please clear land acquisition and provide the sufficient funds, and we will resolve the issue. We will widen the vent. It's up to all the I am asking about all the artillery roads, okay. But why BBMP is sitting on
so there's one the question
for long 6 years? And we appreciate BBMP has to be restructured, it has to be discussed and debated, but I would like to know what BBMP was doing all these years. When Mahadevpura was growing, why BBMP did not act?
Okay, no worry.
Let me answer.
Thanks. I'll just, Ravi, I'll go to the next.
But while you go, let's quickly answer this particular problem because he's been after us for some time.
His question has been very elaborate. I would like to say that there are so many issues in this part of the town. Unfortunately, this part of the town has become an urban slum. Okay, you need a lot of citizens groups work with me. About these artillery roads also, when they brought it to my notice, half of the roads come to PWD, half of the roads are connected roads to rural development. So, it's not my initiative, the citizens' initiative. We got the survey done from the PWD, we got the survey done from the RDPR, and now they are ready to, broaden those roads and connect those roads. That is one. Second, what is happening in this part of the town is, there are so many bottlenecks which needs to be cleared. Until you clear these bottlenecks, this traffic is not going to move. For example, Karmalaram Railway Junction. How many years do you need to have a ROB in that? They've been moving from pillar to post. To be honest, Karmalaram Unites if they are here. On their initiative, I don't like to say but on their initiative, we got 20 crore rupees sanctioned for ROB in the Karmalaram. I have come with the document, sir. Yes, sir, please, you are free to ask, sir.
One second, I'm
free
taking
to
2
ask.
questions here.
No, not, please sit down. Meera is deciding.
I have come.
He'll come to you.
I've come with the document, sir.
Okay, next question, next question.
Yes.
We'll come back, sir.
And not only that, sir, you need to clear bottlenecks in this part of the. Yeah.
It's a interconnected issue. Yeah.
Good morning, sir. This is Sekhar. I'm an IT employee. Apart from all the regular issues, whatever we discussed, like traffic issue and all the common issues, there is one issue like I think most of the parents who are here will agree. It's the school fee issue. So I know it's in the hands of I know it's in the hands of state government and education ministry. But is it possible to add it in your agenda or priority? So that will help most of the common people and the employees. Thank you.
So education is a state and central subject.
It's a concurrent.
So myself is Jagdish. I'm part of Vartu Rising and Whitefield Rising since quite long. So my focus, the subject line is connecting urban waste to the farmers. So entire India, so 3 decades ago, we had 3% of soil carbon. Now it is at 0.3%. It relates to increase in humus, soil carbon, along with that conserving water, and also reduces pollution. So most of our urban waste is being burnt now. So if you could able to connect urban waste to the farmers, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of difference to the urbanites and also to the farmers for enriching their soil.
Or the compost, right? Creating compost and giving it to farmers.
Yeah.
through the
Next
waste.
question, just last question now.
Hi, my name is Nilesh. I'm from Whitefield Rising. One of your election campaigns says that we will prioritize maintenance of stormwater drains. This is what I've received on WhatsApp. I hope it's true. So my question is the member of parliament responsible for stormwater drains? Because in this state, the government and BBMP is run by your party. So are you signifying a failure of state and BBMP that you have included this point in your manifesto? That's my question.
So 3 questions,
So
school fees, I
when
think
we-
soil composting and
Last 5 years back when we took over the government, the Congress party formed the government, there are 870 kilometers of stormwater drain across the city. Okay? The whole stormwater drain, if you remember, Kormangla was submerged at one point of time. You do remember other parts of the town were submerged. The stormwater drains were not in the proper shape. And the construction of the stormwater drain, in last 5 years, nearly 550 square kilometer of stormwater drains have been constructed. Unfortunately, these cannot be seen by the people because that's not something which is coming up on the ground. Okay? So there are basic things for a city to govern, like the stormwater drains should be pakka across the city. There has to be waste to energy plants or waste to compost and send it to farmers. Last 5 years, we built 7 waste to energy plants. Otherwise, it was being dumped in landfills, right? And third, how do you treat your wastewater? So Bangalore was treating only the 34% of its water, treating only 34% of the water. In last 5 years, when we were in power, from 34%, we improved it to 79%. Now today, Bangalore treats 79% of its water. By next year, when one more plant is ready, Bangalore will be the only city in the country which will treat 100% of its water. Fine? But these developments are not seen by the people because that's done quietly behind the scene. But one thing I would say, I appreciate Whitefield Rising for them to come out with one technology. They brought it to my notice about mini STP. Why should you get all the water up to the lakes, all polluted water, then try and treat it there? Why don't you treat the water at source? Okay, that was proposed by Whitefield Rising. When we proposed it to the government, because it was new technology, government had no clue in their whole guidelines about mini STP. Like which head should we give fund to a mini STP? Fine. But we somehow struggled for 2-3 months and we made it sure that that fund was sanctioned and mini STP work is happening. In Agdur, it was your initiative. Once that is done and if it is successfully tested, I commit that we'll push for mini STPs across all stormwater drains so that we treat the water at source. But the credit should go to Whitefield Rising than me. Thank you.
yeah, you want to have Mr. Prakash, you want to take the question, any of those questions you want to respond to?
Thank you for giving me a chance. I have seen the 3 questions. One is on the connectivity, one is on the
School fees.
education, and one is, see, until and unless, see, we need to understand it. Every issue has multi-dimensional, multitasking approach to it. You need to have a vision, is what I'm saying. See, Bangalore is not just traffic. It is just not traffic. Now, when we talk about building this city called Bangalore, you look at Madhevpura, and it's very interesting about the soil he's saying. You can talk of water, sanitation. See, look at Madhevpura, in the whole idea of development, it has become dust, the earth. It's not done. What he is talking is a very valid point is there any vision of the last 10 years, whoever is an MP or the state government, why didn't they foresee Bangalore will have this much of people, this much of building? So when you don't know, foresee it, no? This is where we come, and we need to foresee it again. Is there an attempt or any one of them saying that we need to have rainwater harvesting compulsory in the city to restructure it? You know, when I'm answering, if you keep raising hands, it gets difficult for me. Because drought is a natural phenomena. We need to be prepared to it. There is no self-respect for an individual here with any government policies. We are looking at a city, whether it is poor or rich, that we need water. We need water when we are thirsty, but we are made to worry about a thirst 4 days down the lane. We have not worked towards it. We have not rejuvenated. We have not had our ponds. We have not thought about, now we are talking about during elections, we are talking about was there no, because in Pondicherry, they were the ones who started this reusing the drain water. 250 lakes, because of no vision, because of no intent, it has come to 50. And we are talking about 2,000 slums in Bangalore. If you don't bring up the standard of life here, if we don't have a clear vision to address unorganized sector of workers, if we don't address the education system, wherein there is no equal education, there is no right for equal and safe health in this country. If we don't see, maybe we are in apartments, the maid who works for her, who's in the next slum, if you don't give her a job security, if you don't see to it that her children has an equal education, if you don't restructure, refurbish, empower government schools, where they are giving permissions to private schools, it is a mafia. Today, we are just putting blame on BBMP. A BBMP wants to give water in water tankers, but the whole water tanker mafia rejects to take the tender. Whose non-visionary thought process, non-working governance, no intent has led us to this today. So we today as citizens need to see it throughout. Health of Bangalore. I am seeing a 19-year-old girl or a boy going fully covered like a terrorist in this dust. Isn't it no respect for the citizens of this country? We are talking about traffic. What are the reasons of the traffic? We have only 6,500 buses. We have 3 lakh licensed taxis. It needs 15,000 buses here. We need that. And we need to understand, please, traffic is not just buses and things. We don't have equal education in all localities where we are going with our children 15 kilometers to put in another school. That's another way of transport problem. And the transport last minute connectivity should be understood from where to where, which is the places where there's more traffic, how we have to empower with more buses. So this whole planning, this whole understanding the issue and finding a solution if the vision is not here.
Thank you, sir.
No, you need to let me answer it because both of them had enough time and suddenly you started off with a question. So because I need to talk about a vision, why I am worried about is we are trying to ask first aid questions or outpatient questions for issues. It is not that. What I'm trying to tell you exactly is when we talk about jobs, and I was in conversation with 2 of the party leaders, not you people, these political parties, these leaders, please try to understand, listen to me very carefully. They don't know what is a job. What is a job creation? See, when you said, do you have one wish to ask? I'll be very intelligent, says, give me the power to address jobs. See, job is not to make ends meet. Job is every human being's language. It is his identity and it is relevance to the society. Please try to understand it. Like I was born in 65. You need to give me 2 minutes. I was born in 65. I see television in 82. I see computers in 90. If you had asked me before television 82, 80s, I wouldn't have told that I would become a TV presenter or a digital designer. Because in a society, as we grow, as it becomes bigger, as new scientific things come, and as we need more jobs and more services, I needed a leader, I needed a government to foresee where we are going in 10 years. And then, this job, you reimagine the future of the children in the education system and you prepare them for that. Otherwise, we will end up to the crisis where we are, where there are 1,000 railway government clerk jobs. And there are 1.5 lakh people applying who are mechanical engineers. This is not done. So when you talk about job, see, you need to reimagine the education system and you need to talk about the health. We are seeing malnutrition in this country. Majority of them who run Bangalore, they're in 2,000 slums. Now imagine if you don't address the health system of the city, of the people. Imagine all development projects you make, 15 years down the lane, these children who become youngsters with stunted growth, will they take this country forward? See, this is how you need to have a vision, you need to work. So, it is not just taking one issue and working to it. We are talking about urban poor. What is an urban poor? They say 18,000 rupees cannot be urban poor. Urban poor, our idea is they are not get accessible to BPL card because I want 3 lakh to be the minimum thing for to be an urban poor because you need to take in consideration the cost of living in a Bangalore city. We need to restructure that. We need to restructure what is a state subject and what is a national subject. If we don't look at it multidimensionally, if we don't understand, sit together, understand the reasons why we have reached here, you will never find the solutions with a vision.
Thank you. Okay. Yeah, we have permission only for limited time from the ERO. So, wait, you had this question on the secular thing. Yeah. Keep it very short, one line.
Hi, hi. My name is Shahid. I think first I would like to appreciate Mr. Prakash Raj that he is the only candidate who got a manifesto for Bangalore Central constituency. We have not seen it from PC Mohan or from Arshad sir. Second question that I wanted to ask is, we have an area called AECS layout where a Kashmiri student was hit by BJP workers or anyone because he was a Kashmiri guy. And this is a very problematic thing because Mahadevpura as an area has very cosmopolitan population, people coming from everywhere. And Rizwan Arshad very rightly pointed out, we need someone to be very vocal about Bangalore Central. And apart from infrastructure, it's people's security, social security. You know, they should feel secure. It's something that we should talk about. And I feel that on the topic of secularism, on the topic of people's safety, Prakash Raj has been more vocal than you, sir. No offense intended. So, like you said, we need someone to be more vocal. Can you say, give someone a chance who has been more vocal for the constituency instead of you both fighting and, you know, someone else winning the seat? So I feel that he's more vocal if you can.
I would like to interject before you apply.
1 second.
Can I answer? I just want to clarify something that he said.
Can I clarify him? Sir, I am a candidate of a party which believes in inclusive growth. We believe in inclusivity. We don't discriminate among language, region, religion, and caste. Okay? My party's ideology is very clear. I don't need to reiterate it. When we formed the government, when we were in the government, and when we formed the government again, we will see to it that the confidence building measures among different communities, which has been polarized and there have been cracks, has to be rebuilt. And only with harmony can we move forward. Only with love and affection can we go forward. That's been our ideology and our agenda. So I don't have to necessarily talk on it every time. Because when I used to talk about it, people used to criticize. You are talking, you know, that was the kind of thing, you're talking something which is not relevant. But now I'll tell you, my party stands very clear on that. I don't need to clarify on those things. And as a candidate, today my focus is for Bangalore, which is inclusive Bangalore. My slogan of Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas is not, I give a slogan, I keep on doing what I'm doing. It's not that, okay? It has to be an inclusive growth, and Bangalore Central is the most cosmopolitan constituency. Here you have minorities, not only religious, with language. You have every language people staying here. You be it Malayalam, be it Telugu, be it Tamil, be it Kannada, be it Hindi, Urdu, English, you take any language. There are sizable people across. And you need a representative who connects with everyone, who doesn't discriminate. If I say I as an individual have no problem in my constituency, I'll reach out to everybody. But my party has an agenda. That can't be the case. So it should be an inclusive growth and harmonious growth, which I and my party believe in. And we'll work towards that.
I'm sorry, I have to intervene. This is the last question because we have permission only till 11:30 to do this meeting.
Please.
So this is the last question and we close with that.
All the others who have questions, you may please interact with the candidates later, but we have to wind up the event.
Because
so
we
I'm
don't have
handing this
permission.
over last question.
So this might be the last question, but again, as a first-time voter and coming from the Belandur area, what I want to see is the power that we can put in your hands or in the hands of the next MP to represent us. So being from the system, I know that you're an MLC, and being from the system, the fact that the case of the Belandur issue has gone all the way to the National Green Tribunal, and a committee has been set up. The committee was set up, committee recommendations were given, but then the state government did not implement much. Also, there has been a lot of projects like the KC Valley project, like pioneering projects where they're trying to treat sewage water and send it to farmers in Kolar. Projects like these have been implemented at a very fast pace, but then there are issues now where there have been nationally accredited labs testing the water, and there's a lot of heavy metals. So can we still have trust in the government to kind of implement projects given the fact that our voices are heard and recommendations are put forward, or are you all just going to kind of maybe do it in a fast-track way without recommendation of public?
As far as KC Valley project, sir, it was a very revolutionary project where we thought that we'll treat this water, send it to recharge the groundwater and the lakes. That was the intention, and that is the intention with which the project was started. It was completed on record time, and there must be initial hitches. It doesn't mean that the whole intention is bad. The intention was to treat this water, which is going waste, and charge the ground level in across Bangalore, like Kolar area and all, which has become very dry, and recharge the lakes and the ground level water. If there are metals and if there are heavy metals which are found in the water, it can always be rectified. But you should also give credit that something like this was conceptualized and executed. It can always be rectified. Fine? Thank you.
Meera, and just quickly, see, while the emphasis is on STP, you will need some effluent treatment plants to address that heavy metal issue. I think that's the point.
Just to add, one point, there are many questions here, so I request them to kind of interact online. There are questions about Kaveri water, BBMP taxes. How will you evaluate the performance of your own, government later on? And about potholes. So request you to come, since the time is done, afterwards to come offline and interact with them directly.
Since the time is done, but I honestly say, please, I wish I had a little more time. I had all the time to interact with you, and there is a definite time. Please go into my manifesto. It's spent 3 months talking to people, and really I have a vision for it. And before you decide, I would like you to download and watch it. And I wish I could have spoken about Kaveri once.
No, but Prakash later, because we're just out of time. Because
It's
this one last
fair.
word.
It's not fair. How will you know me?
Download the manifesto.
It's a well thought out manifesto, and I think we should tackle and push for these things. I am with you people. But one thing I would like to say, the dedicated special purpose fund for IT corridor. If many of you might not be knowing, the last budget in BBMP, which was sanctioned last 2 months back, I had proposed a special fund, dedicated fund, for the comprehensive development of IT corridor. And I requested the mayor, please create a fund. don't deviate this fund to any other purpose. This fund should be over and above the normal spending of the corporation. On my request, she has created a fund, a dedicated fund. On the first year, it is 125 crores. This can be increased next year to 500 crores. More fund can be brought in from the central government, CSR, state government, and this fund can be utilized only in the IT corridors. If you go back to my Twitter, my social media, last 2 months back, 3 months back, you can find that I have proposed it and we have got it sanctioned and this fund now exists.
Thanks, Rizwan.
Thank you.
So with that, we come to a close. Thank you to both of them for generously staying till the end, to the audience for being here. I think Srinivas wants to give a vote of thanks on behalf of the organizers, the police particularly, for this support.
Good morning, everybody. On behalf of Whitefield, I would like to thank each and everyone who have taken time on a Sunday, that to a holiday, to come early in the morning. Yeah. On a Sunday morning to make time and ask your questions to our representatives to present themselves and give their ideas to choose them. So I thank Mr. Prakash Raj, Mr. Arshad to come here and in spite of their busy schedules make time and answer all our questions patiently. And thanks to the police, the press who has been present here. And thanks again to one and all.
Thank you very much, everybody. Yeah, if anybody has questions for the candidates, you can interact separately. And thank you all very much for coming. As far as voter registrations are concerned, now we're just looking for lots of turnout people. Everybody, please come out and exercise your franchise. Remember, lots of choices on the ballot.
Yeah, just to add one more point, there are many other candidates also. Please check the Election Commission site. There are about 22 candidates from various parties and independents. If you want to wait a few more minutes, I'm happy to read out the list on, from the list. You're welcome to interact with the candidates now. Thank you.